This episode of The Story Cottage is brought to you by our friends at Domestic Dominion, the Kings Ridge Elderberries, and our supporters on Buzzsprout. Go to thestorycottage.buzzsprout.com or click the Support the Show link in the show notes and subscribe for just $5 a month to get every episode ad-free. And now, on with the show. Fairy tales, folklore, myths, and legends. Why do children need them? Why do nations and peoples create them? Who knows? Maybe some of them are real. Maybe some are merely imaginative. Is there a hidden wisdom worth finding in these tall tales? Proverbs 1:5-6 says, "Let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands obtain guidance, to understand a proverb and a saying, the words of the wise and their riddles." We're your hosts, Jerry and Amy Davidson. Welcome to the Story Cottage. Please step inside. Once upon a time, there dwelt near a large wood a poor woodcutter, with his wife and 2 children by his former marriage, a little boy called Hansel and a girl named Gretel. He had little enough to eat, and once, when there was a great famine in the land, he could not get even his daily bread. As he lay thinking in his bed one evening, rolling about for trouble, he sighed and said to his wife, "What will become of us? How can we feed our children when we have no more than we can eat ourselves?"
"Well then, my husband," answered she, "we will lead them away quite early in the morning into the thickest part of the wood, and there make them a fire and give them each a little piece of bread. Then we will go to our work and leave them alone, so they will not find their way home again, and we shall be freed from them."
"No, wife," replied he, "that I can never do. How can you bring your heart to leave my children all alone in the wood? For the wild beasts will soon come and tear them to pieces."
"Oh, you simpleton," said she. "Then we must all 4 die of hunger."
But she gave him no peace until he consented, saying, "Oh, but I shall regret the poor children." The 2 children, however, had not gone to sleep for very hunger, and so they overheard what the stepmother said to their father. Gretel wept bitterly and said to Hansel,
"What will become of us?"
"Be quiet, Gretel," said he. "Do not cry. I will soon help you." And as soon as their parents had fallen asleep, he got up, put on his coat, and, unbarring the back door, slipped out. The moon shone brightly, and the white pebbles which lay before the door seemed like silver pieces. They glittered so brightly. Hansel stooped down and put as many into his pocket as it would, and then, going back, he said to Gretel, "Be comforted, dear sister, and sleep in peace. God will not forsake us." And so saying, he went to bed again. The next morning, before the sun arose, the wife went and awoke the 2 children.
"Get up, you lazy things. We're going into the forest to chop wood."
Then she gave them each a piece of bread, saying,
"There is something for your dinner. Do not eat it before the time, for you will get nothing else."
Gretel took the bread in her apron, for Hansel's pockets were full of pebbles, and so they all set out upon their way. When they had gone a little distance, Hansel stood still and peeped back at the house, and this he repeated several times, till his father said, "Hansel, what are you peeping at, and why do you lag behind? Take care and remember your legs."
"Ah, father," said Hansel, "I'm looking at my white cat sitting upon the roof of the house and trying to say goodbye."
"You simpleton,"
said the wife.
"That is not a cat, it is only the sun shining on the white chimney."
But in reality, Hansel was not looking at a cat. Every time he stopped, he dropped a pebble out of his pocket upon the path. When they came to the middle of the wood, the father told the children to collect wood, and he would make them a fire, so that they should not be cold. So Hansel and Gretel gathered together quite a little mountain of twigs. Then they set fire to them, and as the flame burnt up high, the wife said,
Now you children lie down near the fire and rest yourselves while we go into the forest and chop wood. When we are ready, I will come and call you."
Hansel and Gretel sat down by the fire, and when it was noon, each ate the piece of bread. And because they could hear the blows of an axe, they thought their father was near. But it was not an axe, but a branch which he had bound to a withered tree so as to be blown to and fro by the wind. They waited so long that at last their eyes closed from weariness, and they fell fast asleep. When they awoke, it was quite dark, and Gretel began to cry.
"How shall we get out of the wood?"
But Hansel tried to comfort her, saying, "Wait a little while till the moon rises, and then we will quickly find the way." The moon soon shone forth, and Hansel, taking his sister's hand, followed the pebbles, which glittered like new coined silver pieces, and showed them the path. All night long they walked on, and as day broke they came to their father's house. They knocked at the door, and when the wife opened it and saw Hansel and Gretel, she exclaimed,
"You wicked children! Why did you sleep so long in the wood? We thought you were never coming home again."
But their father was very glad, for it had grieved his heart to leave them all alone. Not long afterwards, there was again great scarcity in every corner of the land, and one night the children overheard their mother saying to their father,
"Everything is again eaten. We have only half a loaf left, and then we must starve. The children must be sent away. We will take them deeper into the wood so that they may not find the way out again. It is the only means of escape for us."
But her husband felt heavy at heart and thought, "It were better to share the last crust with the children." His wife, however, would listen to nothing that he said and scolded and reproached him without end. Now the children had heard what had been said as they lay awake, and as soon as the old people went to sleep, Hansel got up, intending to pick up some pebbles as before. But the wife had locked the door so that he could not get out. Nevertheless, he comforted Gretel, saying, "Do not cry, sleep in peace. The good God will not forsake us." Early in the morning, the stepmother came and pulled him out of bed and gave them each a slice of bread, which was still smaller than the one they had the last time. On the way, Hansel broke his in his pocket and, stooping every now and then, dropped a crumb upon the path. "Hansel, why do you stop and look about?" said the father. "Keep in the path." "I am looking at my little dove," answered Hansel, nodding a goodbye to me.
"Simpleton,"
said the wife.
"That is no dove, but only the sun shining on the chimney."
But Hansel kept still, dropping crumbs as he went along. The mother led the children deep into the woods, where they had never been before, and there, making an immense fire, she said to them,
"Sit down here and rest, and when you feel tired, you can sleep for a little while. We're going into the forest to hew wood, and in the evening, when we are ready, we will come and fetch you."
When noon came, Gretel shared her bread with Hansel, who had strewn his on the path. They then went to sleep, but the evening arrived, and no one came to visit the poor children. And in the dark night they awoke, and Hansel comforted his sister by saying, "Only wait, Gretel, till the moon comes out. Then we shall see the crumbs of bread which I have dropped, and they will show us the way home." When the moon shone, they got up, but they could not see any crumbs, for the thousands of birds which had been flying about in the woods and fields had picked them all up. Hansel kept saying to Gretel, "We will soon find a way." But they did not. They walked the whole night long and the next day, but still they did not come out of the wood, and they got very hungry, for they had nothing to eat but the berries which they found upon the bushes. Soon they got so tired that they could not drag themselves along, so they lay down under a tree and went to sleep. It was now the third morning since they had left their father's house, and they still walked on, but they only got deeper and deeper into the wood, and Hansel saw that if help did not come very soon, they would die of hunger. Tired of evil fairies using cold and flu season to turn you and your children into ogres every year? Yeah, me too. This cold and flu season, fortify your defenses naturally with the King's Ridge elderberry syrup and elderberry products. They grow the freshest elderberries on their Indiana farm, hand-pick and cold-press them into the tastiest syrup around. And they are packed with antioxidants and vitamins to boost your immune system. Defend the castle of your family's health. Use code STORY10 for 10% off your first order at tkrfarm.com. The King's Ridge Elderberry Syrup. Taste the difference, help push back the curse. That's tkrfarm.com and use code STORY10 for 10% off your first order. Why? What's wrong?
There are dragons in our laundry and dishwasher.
Hang on, dear. I'm getting my sword.
No, wait. These dragons cannot be killed by a sword.
They've never tasted my blade.
I know, but all we need to kill these dragons is detergent from Domestic Dominion.
Okay, then we must make haste. How do we get some?
By going to domestic-dominion.com and entering code STORY. Ladies, our husbands are great for so many things, including slaying the run-of-the-mill dragons. But sometimes there are monsters that sneak through even the best defenses, like the toxins and chemicals in your laundry and dish detergents. And often, those supposedly clean detergents at the store are just pretty little poisoned apples. That's where Domestic Dominion can help. They're a small, family-owned and operated Christian business whose mission is to create clean, natural, quality products that aid the homemaker and create a culture of joy, health, and stewardship to the glory of God. They value the Lord and therefore value their products. All their products are effective and made with only 4 ingredients. Each product is non-toxic, pH balanced, and contains no surfactants, fragrances, or chemicals. They leave no chemical residue, and their laundry detergent is safe to use on any kind of clothing. We use their products in our home, and let me tell you, every load comes out smelling the way Cinderella's dress looks. With Domestic Dominion, you'll have a ball doing laundry. Go to their website, domestic-dominion.com, or click the link in the show notes. And use code STORY for 20% off your first order. And be sure to check out their aprons, linen covers, and anti-feminist stickers while you're there. That's domestic-dominion.com and use code STORY for 20% off your first order.
About the middle of the day, they saw a beautiful snow-white bird sitting on a bough, which sang so sweetly that they stood still and listened to it. It soon left off and, spreading its wings, flew away. They followed it until it arrived at a cottage, upon the roof of which it perched. And when they went close up to it, they saw that the cottage was made of bread and cakes, and the window panes were of clear sugar. "We will go in there," said Hansel, "and have a glorious feast. I will eat a piece of the roof, and you can eat the window. Will they not be sweet?" So Hansel reached up and broke a piece off the roof in order to see how it tasted, while Gretel stepped up to the window and began to bite it. Then a sweet voice called out in the room,
"Tip-tap, tip-tap, who raps at my door?"
And the children answered, the wind, the child of heaven." And they went on eating. Hansel thought the roof tasted very nice, and so he tore off a great piece, while Gretel broke a large round pane out of the window and sat down quite contentedly. Just then the door opened, and a very old woman walking upon crutches came out. Hansel and Gretel were so frightened that they let fall what they had in their hands, but the old woman, nodding her head, said,
"Ah, you dear children, what has brought you here? Come in and stay with me, and no harm shall befall you."
And so saying, she took them both by the hand and led them into her cottage. A good meal of milk and pancakes with sugar, apples, and nuts was spread on the table, and in the back room were 2 nice little beds, covered with white, where Hansel and Gretel laid themselves down and rested happily after all their hardships. The old woman was very kind to them, but in reality, she was a wicked witch who waylaid children and built the bread house in order to entice them in. Then as soon as they were in her power, she killed them, cooked them, and ate them, and made a great festival of the day. Witches have red eyes and cannot see very far, but they have a fine sense of smell, like wild beasts, so that they know when children approach them. When Hansel and Gretel came near the witch's house, she laughed wickedly, saying,
"Here come 2 who shall not escape me."
And early in the morning, before they awoke, she went up to them and saw how lovingly they lay sleeping with their chubby red cheeks, and she mumbled to herself,
"That will be a good bite."
Then she took up Hansel with her rough hand and shut him up in a little cage with a lattice door, and although he screamed loudly, it was of no use. Gretel came next, and, shaking her till she awoke, she said,
"Get up, you lazy thing, and fetch some water to cook something good for your brother, who must remain in the stall and get fat. And when he is fat enough, I shall eat him."
Gretel began to cry, but it was all useless, for the old witch made her do as she wished. So a nice meal was cooked for Hansel, but Gretel got nothing but a crab's claw. Every morning, the old witch came to the cage and said,
Hansel, stretch out your finger that I might feel whether you are getting fat.
But Hansel used to stretch out a bone, and the old woman, having very bad sight, thought that it was his finger and wondered very much that he did not get fatter. When 4 weeks had passed, and Hansel was still quite lean, she lost all her patience and would not wait any longer.
Gretel,
She called out in a passion.
get some water quickly. Be Hansel fat or lean, this morning I will kill and cook him.
Oh, how the poor little sister grieved as she was forced to fetch the water, and fast the tears ran down her cheeks.
Dear good God, help us now.
She exclaimed.
Had we only been eaten by the wild beasts in the wood, then we should have died together.
But the old witch called out.
Stop that noise, it will not help you a bit.
So early in the morning, Gretel was forced to go out and fill the kettle and make a fire.
First, we will bake. However,
Said the old woman,
I have already heated the oven and kneaded the dough.
and she got up and put her head into the oven. Then Gretel gave her a push so that she fell right in, and then, shutting the iron door, she bolted it. Oh, how horribly she howled! But Gretel ran away and left the wicked witch to burn to ashes. Now she ran to Hansel and, opening his door, called out.
Hansel, we are saved. The old witch is dead.
So he sprang out like a bird out of his cage when the doors opened, and they were so glad that they fell upon each other's neck and kissed each other over and over again. And now, as there was nothing to fear, they went into the witch's house, where in every corner were caskets full of pearls and precious stones. "These are better than pebbles," said Hansel, putting as many into his pocket as he would hold, while Gretel thought,
I will take some home too.
and filled her apron full. "We must be off now," said Hansel, "and get out of this enchanted forest." When they had walked for 2 hours, they came to a large piece of water. "We cannot get over," said Hansel. "I can see no bridge at all,"
And there's no boat either.
said Gretel.
But there swims a white duck. I will ask her to help us over.
And she sang,
Little duck so blithe and merry, Hansel Gretel, here we stand. There is neither bridge nor ferry, row us on your back to land.
So the duck came to them, and Hansel sat himself on her back and bade his sister sit behind him.
No,
Answered Gretel.
that will be too much for the duck. She shall take us over one at a time.
This the good little bird did, and when both were happily arrived on the other side and had gone a little way, they came to a wood, which they knew the better every step they went, and at last they saw their father's house. Then they began to run, and bursting into the house, they fell on their father's neck. He had not had one happy hour since he had left the children in the forest, and his wife was dead. Gretel shook her apron, and the pearls and precious stones rolled out on the floor, and Hansel threw down one handful after another out of his pocket. Then all their sorrows were ended, and they lived together in great happiness.
All right, welcome back to another great episode of the Story Cottage. First question, what sort of values do we see in the characters in this story?
Well, let's start with the wife. She values herself. She would rather live more easily for a short time than suffer with her own stepchildren. And she's a quarrelsome woman who scolds, mocks, and tempts her own husband when he doesn't agree with her.
Yep, and the husband, unfortunately, is not much better. He actually considers his wife's murderous advice, and though begrudgingly, makes the decision to comply with his wife.
Yeah. And Gretel values her brother and family, and she trusts him to help her.
Yes, and Hansel values his faith and his family. He is creative in trying to rescue his sister from their parents' plan to murder them, and he regularly tells his sister to trust in God while also working on a way to get them out. He values active faith. And lastly, the witch. She values power and her own appetites.
What can you learn to apply these things in your daily life? Well, don't murder. But also, ladies, don't quarrel with your husband. You have a lot of influence on your husband, so don't abuse it. We all want our husbands to be strong men and great heads of our homes. So seek to encourage and uplift him. Don't tear him down every time you disagree. Don't be a wife or mother that when you leave the room, everyone breathes a little easier. Be a life-giving spirit to your home and your husband.
Now, men, don't be an impoverished wimp who can't lead his home through hard times.
Please don't.
Yeah, don't. There will always be hard times. So show your family what a man is. Work harder. Work a second job. Find a creative solution as a family. Don't be swayed into evil excuses and bad leadership.
Boys and girls, first, if you're listening to this, your parents are clearly awesome, so don't worry. But try to have the kind of relationship with your brothers and sisters that Hansel and Gretel have. They protect each other, they admire each other's abilities, and listen to each other. They don't complain. They were creative and cunning in tricking and escaping the witch. They worked together to find a way out of the forest, and they trusted God through all of it.
Yeah. Finally, a lesson to learn. Witchcraft and pagan religions teach that taking innocent life or giving up your own innocence will make you powerful, but it will actually kill you, as we see with the witch. What is really cool is that God sent the most innocent being ever, his son, Jesus Christ, to not only be sacrificed for us, but to rise from the dead and give us hope in his kingdom, which will conquer the whole world and get rid of all the witches. See the difference? Evil says, give up innocence to be like God. God says that you must become innocent, which you can't do on your own. God teaches that his perfectly innocent son came to give you his innocence and righteousness so that you can live. So be like Hansel and have a hard-working faith in Christ the King.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode, and we can't wait to see you next time.
We'll see you then.
Toodaloo.
Thank you for joining us here at the Story Cottage. If you liked what you heard, smash that follow button and leave us a 5-star review. It tremendously helps with the algorithms so folks like you can find us. Go to thestorycottage.buzzsprout.com or click the Support the Show link in the show notes to subscribe for $5 a month to get every episode ad-free. And follow us on X, Instagram, or Facebook. And please, join us next time.